Alright guys, so in this video we're going to talk all about increasing the click-through rate and lowering your cost per click. This will ultimately allow you to reach more people and spend the least amount of money possible when you're building out your ad campaign. And in this video I'm going to walk you through step by step and basically give you some pointers to help you narrow it down to 3 key factors to keep in mind while you're building out your campaigns. So the general idea is to increase the click-through rate, which will in turn decrease your cost per click, which will basically make Facebook happy, because their job is to provide people with relevant ads that they wouldn't mind seeing on their timeline. So that makes Facebook happy, and it'll basically allow them to showing your ad down the line, and you'll be able to show it to more people and eventually start building more people, and they'll start sharing and liking, commenting, doing all this engagement, and basically building up more momentum towards your goal. And it'll allow you to reach a lot more people than you would have if it was a bad ad. So the average click-through rate is about 1% to 5%. You can gauge between these two numbers, and pay attention to these numbers because they matter, and this is one of the metrics you want to look for. Most of the time you want to look for the unique click, or the unique click-through rate, or the unique cost per click to the link, because if you look at it, Facebook will automatically give you the cost per click, but it will have in parentheses all, which means it's tracking basically everything, and it's just averaging all the clicks in, and they could be coming from anywhere pretty much. So you want to basically look at the unique clicks to basically gauge to see which ad is performing the best. So here are the 3 keys to getting cheap clicks. The first thing is your objective. So the very first thing is your ad objective, and obviously all these are going to make a difference depending on the one that you choose. And to choose from, you have brand awareness, reach, traffic, engagement, app installs, video views, lead generation, conversion, product catalog sales, and store visits. You want to make sure you tell Facebook what your objective is so they can go out and find the cheapest cost based on your objective. Do you want people to just come to your website, just get brand awareness, you don't care who clicks? Or do you want people to come to a certain page, view your content and, track a certain page? Or do you want to get leads? Do you want to capture people's emails? Or, do you want sales? Or are you looking for, just clicks to your website? So a lot of this comes into play. Obviously, all these have different variables within them, and they all mean something different. So you want to be pretty specific when you're choosing your campaign objective. The second key moving forward, you want to pay attention to your interests. The next step is going to be your interest. You basically want to get this as close as possible to the audience you're trying to target. So if your audience is something like swimming or going on vacation and, staying at hotels and stuff, maybe likely to move somewhere, you basically want to look for those interests and see if they're able to be targeted within Facebook's targeting tool right here. So let's say we're looking for someone interested in swimming. We just come down here, go into detailed targeting, and basically just look at some of the interests that they give us when we type in swimming. So basically, if we had something like swimming, we would go down to the interest down here and type in swimming and browse through the interests closest to the people that we're looking to target. And you want to test out ages or gender, whether it's going to be tailored towards females 18 to 65 or males 18 to 65. Or you can split it up and go between whatever age range that you feels best for your audience. And the last key is basically going to gauge your whole campaign and tell you from the first 500 impressions whether or not your ad is going to perform well. The last thing is your ad quality and your relevance score, pretty much. Basically, this is a breakdown after the 500 impressions that you receive from your campaign, from the point it launches to the time it receives 500 impressions. Facebook will basically give you a relevance score, and that's basically how your audience is receiving your ad. With the relevance score, you receive a score from 1 to 10. The higher your relevance score, the more likely Facebook will allow you to reach more people. Out of the images that you're split testing, Facebook will choose the best image performing, and you'll be able to scale and compare each one based on how it's performing when you're split testing your images. Within the campaign, if you have a high relevance score, you'll notice a higher click-through rate in certain areas. And these are obviously going to be the ones that you want to focus on more. Alright, so this is one of the most important parts. Basically, I want to talk about the best practices and angles you want to take for split testing and generating the cheapest cost per click, which a lot of people generally forget to do. And the only reason being is because they think once they have one image, that's fine. They'll just throw it up and hope millions of people see it. And, when they find out people aren't buying that stuff, they just get all mad at themselves that, they're wasting money and, this and that. They start getting discouraged. And once you get discouraged, you might get a little afraid and, just give up right on the spot. So by following this is going to help you to understand how to put it into a process to where you can find the winning image. You should definitely keep in mind when you're spending money on your campaigns not to look at it as a loss, because once you have this data, it'll allow you to make a more accurate decision when you're building out your campaigns. It'll also allow Facebook to go out and find the people that belong in your business. So down the line, you're not targeting the wrong people and just wasting money on, pointless clicks. So use the data to optimize your campaigns down the line, and this will allow you to build better campaigns. When you pay attention to the results within the charts, you now have data that your competitors don't, and this is how you can leverage your campaigns against the competition, which will lead to, cheaper conversions down the line, which is what we're going for. So the first thing you want to do is basically test out 3 to 5 images, and image one will probably include your image. You would have the body text under it, and basically that would be your first image setup. Image two would include the same image, and then maybe this time you would switch up the ad copy so you have different body text under the image. Image three might be a different image using image number two with body text or ad copy number one, and this time you would add a border around it because sometimes when people are scrolling through their timelines, the border is usually something different, more vibrant color than what the picture actually is, and will actually get someone to stop scrolling while they're looking through their timeline. Because basically, when you're on Facebook and you're scrolling and stuff, some people just swipe right by it, and you have what we call ad blindness. So you're not really going to stop because now we're so used to seeing these ads on our timelines all the time. Sometimes you just keep swiping by them, like it's another picture on our timeline, or whatever. So you want to do something drastic to catch the user's attention. And sometimes when it comes to capturing the user's attention, drastic can be as small as adding a 10 pixel border around your image. So image number four would be image number two, basically with body text number two. We're just switching up the body text this time, and we're also adding a different color border. So we'll have these images going against each other and basically competing for the best spot in this campaign. The last image would be, left field image pretty much. You want to change the image, you want to change the border, and you also want to change the body text because this might be the drastic change that you need to pick up the ad campaign, and it might just outperform, all these other images that are, inside the campaign. So you want to split test and basically figure out which image is performing best because, later down the line, you'll be able to basically start Xing out images and killing campaigns that aren't performing as well as the other ones. So let's just say, these images started receiving clicks and, views and stuff, but image one just isn't, keeping up with the rest of the campaigns. You can basically get rid of that campaign and not waste any money on image one and basically just have your campaign focus on these four images. The next thing you might realize is image number two, body text number two, with the orange border isn't performing as well as the other three images around it. So you might want to get rid of that campaign. So we'll just cross that one out. And then you'll notice the third image, which is image number one and has body text number two, which was the first variant of your ad copy. So this isn't really performing as well as the last two images. Maybe it's getting clicks, it has a high click-through rate, and people are looking at it, they're engaging with it, but for whatever reason, these last two images are what's attracting your people to click on these ads. So now you see 3 out of the 5 images that we started off with are gone. So it's basically a process of elimination after this. So you'll never know anything unless you test, and you want to test, and find your winners in each campaign. All right, because that's at the end of the day what's going to give you the best results. Now it basically comes down to these last two images. You notice the image that you went, left field with, is really good and all. It's driving, a lot of clicks. It's getting a lot of impressions. That means Facebook is probably, interested in sharing this ad with more people because of its relevance score or whatever the case may be that's allowing you to reach as many people. But it's just not outperforming, the image in the middle, which would be image number 3 and includes basically image 2, body text 1. It has somewhat of a pink border around it. And, for whatever reason, your people gravitated toward this ad and it matched up with the interest that you chose for this campaign. So you want to keep in mind, you want to balance out the image that you're choosing with the interest that you've targeted and demographics that you targeted. So it can make sense and you're not just, throwing an image that doesn't make sense to a certain demographic that that you chose in your interests. So I hope this makes sense. And with that being said, these are the top tips to basically single out each campaign and choose 3 to 5 images to find the image that's performing the best and generate the cheapest click. Now that we have all this in mind, your last ad standing should be the one driving the cheapest conversions. So basically, to figure out which image is performing the best, you want to test each image up against each other to find the one that's giving you the best results. Now I know this is probably a lot for you to take in. Obviously, I can't put everything into this video. There's a lot more that goes into these campaigns. That's just to scratch the surface so you guys can understand what we start off with when we start from the base and build up. All right, thank you for watching. Be sure to check out the description below. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.